It started as an ordinary Tuesday morning. The air outside the Maplewood Community Bank was crisp, the sky painted a soft blue. But for 28-year-old Emily Carter, that day would become one she would never forget. Emily, a young woman with Down syndrome, had worked hard to build her independence. She had a part-time job at a local bakery, managed her own small savings, and was proud of every step she had taken toward living her life with dignity. That morning, Emily walked onto the bank holding her mother's hand, humming softly. She wanted to deposit her first ever paycheck of her own money, earned by her own effort. But the moment she approached the counter, the warm confidence she carried began to melt under the weight of judgmental stares. The teller, a young man named Derek, glanced at her papers and sighed. "Miss, are you sure you understand what this is?" he asked, his tone sharp, skeptical. Emily smiled and nodded. "Yes, it's my paycheck. I want to put it in my account, please." But Derek chuckled under his breath and exchanged a look with another teller. "Maybe we should get your mom to handle this for you," he said, still smirking. "It's a little complicated, sweetheart." His words cut deep. Emily's smile faded. Her mother, Linda, tried to intervene gently. "She knows what she's doing. We've gone over this together." But Derek wasn't listening. "Ma'am, I just want to make sure we're following policy," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "Sometimes people like her get confused." People like her. The line behind them grew longer, and whispers started to rise. Some customers looked away, others shook their heads. Emily's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "I can do it, I promise." But Derek waved his hand dismissively and reached for the next customer. That's when something unexpected happened. The glass doors swung open, and in walked John Kennedy, the regional bank manager, a man known not just for his sharp business sense but for his compassion and community involvement. The room seemed to freeze. Every teller stiffened, their fake smiles instantly returning. Kennedy noticed Emily immediately, her trembling hands, her tear-streaked cheeks. He approached with calm authority. "Excuse me," he said softly. "What seems to be the problem here?" Derek stammered. "Oh, it's nothing, sir. We were just handling a small issue." Linda looked up, her voice shaking. "My daughter just wanted to deposit her paycheck. She's been working so hard for this." "But your stuff a broken bar," she trailed off, unable to finish as Emily clutched her hand. John Kennedy turned toward Emily, kneeling slightly to meet her eyes. "You work at Miller's Bakery, don't you?" he asked kindly. Emily blinked in surprise. "You know it?" He smiled. "Of course. I stop by every Friday for their cinnamon rolls." "You're the one who always remembers my order." Emily's face lit up through her tears. "Yes, you like the ones with extra icing." The entire bank fell silent. Kennedy stood and looked around the room, his tone now firm but calm. "I'm disappointed," he said. "This young woman is a valued customer and a respected member of this community. She deserves the same respect and dignity as anyone else here." He turned to Derek. "I suggest you apologize and learn something today." The teller swallowed hard, his face red. "Yeah, broken bar. I'm sorry, Miss Carter. I shouldn't have said what I did." Emily nodded slowly. "It's okay," she whispered. "Just don't do that to anyone else." Kennedy then invited Emily behind the counter, guiding her through the computer process personally. "Let's make this official," he said, as he helped her deposit her paycheck. When the transaction finished, he handed her a receipt with a smile. "There, that's your hard work, safely in your account." Applause broke out from a few customers in the lobby. Even Linda wiped away tears as her daughter proudly held the receipt up like a trophy. As they left the bank, Kennedy stopped them at the door. "Emily," he said, "would you be willing to come back next week? I'd like you to speak to our staff about inclusion and respect. I think they could learn a lot from you." Emily's eyes widened. "Me? Teach the bank people?" "Yes," Kennedy said with a warm grin. "You showed grace today when others showed ignorance. That's something worth sharing." The following week, Emily stood in front of the same employees who had once doubted her. Nervous at first, she told her story about her job, her dreams, and what it felt like to be treated differently. The room was silent as she spoke, every word hitting home. By the end, even Derek approached her, tears in his eyes. "Thank you, He said, "You really changed how I see things." From that day on, the Maplewood Community Bank launched a new program, Respect for All, training their staff to serve customers with disabilities with understanding and empathy. Emily became their honorary ambassador. The story spread across social media like wildfire. People from across the country shared Emily's courage and John Kennedy's leadership. News outlets picked up the story, calling it a lesson in kindness and humanity. And for Emily, life didn't just return to normal, it became something greater. Her confidence grew. She started speaking at schools and community centers, reminding everyone that respect isn't something you earn, it's something everyone deserves. In one of her speeches, she said something that stuck with everyone who heard it: "Greater than people may look at me and see Down syndrome, but I hope they also see my heart. I'm not asking for special treatment, I'm asking to be treated specially just like you'd treat anyone else." Her words became the closing line of countless news reports and YouTube videos, touching millions. In the end, this wasn't just about a woman being humiliated at a bank. It was about a community being reminded that compassion costs nothing and changes everything.